Welcome to another video, and for this video we're actually at Abraham Lake. You might know this lake as it's pretty famous for its ice bubbles, those kind of methane bubbles that are formed over winter. But I've never been here before in fall or even in the summer, so it's really good to come and check this out. But as you can see behind me, we've got lots of aspen and birch trees, some of which actually sit in the lake. So I know there's some really good photography to be had out there tomorrow morning. And also, we are not in a national park anymore. So we're on public land, which does mean you can fly drones out here, especially the small kind of tiny ones. So I'm hoping I can get a few shots of that as well, which is pretty exciting. But for now, we've set up camp right amongst the trees, right by the lakefront. It's pretty beautiful out here. So I think we're gonna have a fire, get some sleep, get up super early tomorrow and see what images we can get. Now the secret to making a good fire is bringing a little bit of rubbish with you to burn first. Good morning. So we've just moved over to North Preachers Point. We were camping over at South Preachers Point just over here. And to be honest with you, I still don't really know where that famous spot is where the aspen trees are kind of sat in the lake. It's quite famous for kind of like abstracty shots of the reflections, but as you can see, like it looks pretty stunning over here anyway. The lake's really blue, there's a bit of colour in the sky. So I'm hoping I can get a few shots around here. And then I think the plan is I'll send the drone up again, have a little bit of a scout out, see if I can work out exactly where that is. And I think I can visit it a bit later in the day because kind of from what I've seen, I don't think it'll be super affected by kind of it being golden hour. And I think because there's some cloud in the sky, the light will be quite soft. And I think that spot will still be good later on. So we will try and scope it later. But I think for the meantime, let's try and grab some pictures of this pretty epic reflection. So that might not have been the most exciting composition for that shot, but to be honest with you, the light was just so good. I didn't want to miss it by kind of running around the lake trying to find like an interesting foreground or a different composition. This is the first time I photographed this lake at this time of year, so I don't 100% know where I'm going, but just because the conditions were so good, I think that picture turned out all right anyway. But I think the plan is now we're going to drive further up the lake, see if we can work out where that famous spot is and probably go all the way up to Crescent Falls as well, which I know is a pretty awesome photography location. So we found it, but ironically we spent all morning flying the drone, walking all the way around the lake. We drove all the way to the other side of the lake and back, but the best spot is just next to where we're camping. We're camping probably about 50 meters up there, and we completely bypassed it in the morning. But you can tell, obviously, there's lots of these sunken I think they're birch trees rather than aspens, but correct me if I'm wrong. So as you can probably see, it is a really busy location. Like, there are layers and layers of trees, and it just kind of looks like a bit of a mess at the moment. So I think my best bet is probably to get out a longer lens and try and use that to really isolate subjects, or isolate a few trees or a pattern of trees to try and get an image that I like. I know what a lot of people do here is actually come with a set of waders so they can go into the water, and then you can go past a couple of layers or just kind of isolate a group that's further out. But unfortunately, I don't have any waders with me, and I'm just weighing up whether it's worth me taking my pants off and going in without anything and getting a bit wet and cold. We'll see how it goes. First, I'll try the long lens. Right, I'm not going to lie, I actually have no idea what I'm doing. This is not my style of photography, kind of like, I suppose, minimalist or almost abstract reflections. But I think it might be time to take my pants off. So I think the plan is, I'll take off my American pants, not my British pants, and then have a little wander around with my phone to try and find some compositions rather than risk dropping my camera in the lake when I don't really know where I'm going. So yeah, we'll start off with that. It's also pretty sunny, so I'm kind of having to really wait for a cloud to come past, because this kind of scene with the reflections and the trees, when the sun's out, the contrast is too much, so you kind of need to wait for a cloud to come across, cover that sun, and then take some pictures. But let's see if we can find a composition.
I confidently waded into the freezing cold, glacial-fed lake, phone in hand.
Cold? not too deep, but definitely cold.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. That's nice. Oh, God.
However, it didn't take long for me to change my mind.
I don't know how I feel about that, that might be too cold. Oh, I can't feel my legs. So I decided to scrap that idea. I don't think it's really worth wading around in the lake and just getting freezing cold, to be honest, losing the feeling in my toes. But I'm hoping we can get a couple of shots here from the shorefront. And then I know I have been recommended a couple other spots as well down by North Preachers Point and just further down, which we'll go and have another look for now it's daytime. And hopefully we can get some shots done from the shorefront and not have to get really cold.
This is the best image I managed to get from that spot from the shorefront. Not great, but okay. I do, however, have to admit that this is definitely a photographic example of polishing a turd.
Truth is, I'm getting pretty frustrated with this. I don't think I can make anything work. And annoyingly, I have my long lens with no filters and my short lens with filters. I need to isolate with the long lens, but then without the long exposure, it just kind of looks a bit messy. So I think I'm a bit hangry. I'm gonna go and eat some lunch and then maybe try one of these next spots. This could be a bit of a photography fail. Nope, not gonna work. Right, we haven't been Basket Slabs camping area. This is probably where we went. Yeah, I don't reckon this is gonna work either. It's kind of frustrating because it looks like, you look over the lake and it looks like there's some great opportunities there for a good aspen forest in great colour, and then you get there and it's not quite what you were expecting. But to be honest, I don't know if this is me just not knowing where to look, not knowing where to go, or just not really having the eye for this kind of photography, because I'm just looking at trees and I cannot see the woods for the trees. So I think I'm going to chalk this one up to a bit of a photography failure, to be honest with you. Like, the sunrise was great this morning and there's definitely some great opportunity here, but I think we've learned some golden rules or some good lessons in photography, and one of them is be more prepared. We left the city at kind of like 3 or 4 p.m. and got here just before dark. I didn't bring a lot of equipment with me. I didn't bring the filters that I needed, and also I don't really know where to go. I really should have come with someone who'd been here before. So just shows the importance of location scouting, being prepared and actually planning a little bit before you go. but I promise the next video there'll be better results, so please do subscribe.